Hello, my friends. I was working on this little piece. Actually, I was going to make a fall piece, but then I thought, well, I'll do a template first. And I started on this one, and then I got this far, and I thought, well, I'm just going to turn on the camera and show you how I'm doing this. And we'll worry about the fall piece maybe another time. This was a 12 by 12 sheet of paper, and I cut it down um, so that I'd have 4 panels with 4 inches, and I had to trim off some on the outer edges so that they folded properly. This folds properly and doesn't interfere with that fold, and this comes back here just a little ways. I might put some lace or something on that edge. I haven't decided on that for sure. And I folded up the bottom part to make this deep pocket on the inside. And I took another different sheet of scrapbook paper. This is out of a pack that I got at Walmart a while back. It's called Delilah. I'm not sure they still have it. They've changed, at least at my store, they've changed a lot of what they offer now. So this, I had this for a while, but this is what I'm using. And it was that page, and then also the one that has the bird on it in that page. What I did was I got this folded up, and then I used a die to cut the circle on the other one and get this bird. What I want to do is have this little interactive piece that I put on with the brad. Just punched a hole there and attached it. I just kind of wanted it to be movable, or you could slide something behind it. So I got to this point. I cut this top edge with this scallop die that I have. Before I put this on, I folded this up like this, and I took the largest one of these dies, which is this one, and I just put it where I wanted it to be on the top of this, just to have a decorative edge up there. And I taped it in place with some washi tape so it wouldn't slide around too much. And when I went to my die machine to cut it, what I did is I put the um, the plates underneath it as normal, but the top plate, I just had this part, like, say this is where the die machine is. I just had the plate on this part, on the top edge, and just ran it through till it got to this point and just cut the scalloped edge. If I'd gone any further, I would have been cutting the bottom part too. I hope that made sense. I did a video on that one time. What I've done so far, as I said, is I cut this round circle. I also cut a cardstock, just a piece. It's a gray page. You could also write on that part, and there'd be a hidden little writing spot, or this could be a writing spot if you wanted to do that. And as I said, I just poked a hole, and I put that on with the brad, and it comes through underneath where the pocket is. I'm just going to put a piece of washi tape on that to keep it, whatever you slide into the pocket, from catching on the back of the brad. So I'm just going to put it this way. Hopefully it'll hold okay. It just is at the very top of that. Okay, and then I'm going to glue these pockets down. The other thing I did is, this is one-sided paper. I wanted it to have some, not just be glaring white. So what I did is I took some of my potato bag mesh and used it as a stencil, and used a makeup brush. And this blue is Distress Oxide Speckled Egg. And I just went over it lightly and just up and down. This is a kind of a light color anyway, so it didn't make a real bright color on there. This down here, I was testing out my two pinks. I have Festive Berries and Victorian Velvet. And I wanted that to kind of mimic the same design as these flowers that are on here. And I was trying it out under the pocket where nobody would see it once it's finished. And I decided that the Festive Berries showed up better than the Victorian Velvet. And I like the color better with this, so that's what I was using. Then I made pages out of the rest of the page that had the bird on it. And I also did the same stenciling on the back of these pages to give it some design. This is Victorian Velvet, and then this has some Festive Berries on it. And I have this little piece that I cut. I'm going to make a corner tuck out of that over the top of that. And I used, this is a set of dies that I got at Dollar Tree, and I used this piece right here to cut that edge that has that design on it. So I'm going to go ahead and glue this down because I don't have any reason not to. I just want this to be on the corner here. Set that aside so I have a flat place to do this. I'm coming back just a tiny bit from that edge, I think, I think that's what I want to do, just like that. So then that's going to be my first page that I'm going to staple in here. And I also want to glue these pockets in place. And I need to put some glue on that right there because it's trying to stick up. I don't want that to happen. I think that's stuck pretty well there. So I'm just going to run this down this fold right here. And also this one. This is just Aleene's Turbo Tacky glue that I'm using to glue this. I have put in one of these little bottles that has a needle nose that I got at Hobby Lobby in their painting section some time ago. Okay, I took my 1-inch hole punch and punched the thumb holes for those. Also needed to do this edge, which I didn't do. And this one. Well, I hope I got the glue on there. There we go. Okay, so now we have our pockets made. I just heard our air conditioner come on. I hope it's not showing up on the video. I have a microphone that my brother gave to me, and I got an adapter for my new tablet, so it all goes together again. And I hope that it will take care of that noise. And I apologize if it doesn't. I'm going to use the 4mm punch to round the corners on this piece. There we go. It seems like I didn't quite cut those exactly the same size. But it'll be okay. All right. Whoops, didn't get that one. Sometimes these little punches are a little bit difficult to make them do right. If you don't get them in there just the right angle, it doesn't punch right. There we go. Especially on the smaller ones, it seems like to me they don't punch as smoothly as the larger ones. All right, that is that. And I want to staple these little pages in here on this first part, this first section. And since they aren't as long as the whole thing, I'm just going to kind of center it a little bit in there like that. Since this wants to move around a little bit, I'm going to put a couple of paper clips on here to keep it in place while I staple it into the book, into the, I don't guess you can call this a book, the pamphlet or whatever you might want to call it. Okay, snagged my husband's stapler from his office. I want this, the back of it, to be on the outside. So I need to staple it this way, but I also need to have the staple about 2 inches up from the top of it. I'm just going to put a pencil mark on there. There, and I think what I'll do is I'll put the bottom edge of the staple there, and it will go up that way. I always feel like I need to hold my breath when I do this because it's not the easiest to get these positioned just right. Now, I said I was going to put that one this way. Is that what I wanted? Yes, that's what I want to do. So, okay. That worked out pretty well. Now this one, I want it to be this way. Okay. Close enough for me. A little hard to get it in place, but there it is. I don't think I got that in there very straight, unfortunately. but hopefully it'll be okay. What I would do is I would put these pages down and then fold this over that and fold that over the top of that. The die I used to cut the circle for this is one I got when Walmart was selling these. It was a Hello Hobby die. It's this largest circle. I think it's about 3 inches. Yeah, that's what it's about. I think I might like to put just a little round stop there for that to slide into to keep it from being so wobbly. I'm going to use my 1/2 inch punch on this, and I also want to have a piece of this. This is just some cardboard off of it. I think it's my allergy pills. So I'm going to punch it first. And then I think I like that blue design there for that. So I'll do this one. I'm going to see where my design fits. I'm going to do it this way. I think that looks pretty nice. The reason I'm putting the cardboard on the back of it is so that it is a little more stable. And since this is slick on this side, I'm just going to take a little sandpaper and just give that a little roughing up so that the glue will stick. Okay, so I'm just going to put some glue on this. Try to get it out to the edges. And then I'll put my design paper on top. Just press that together for a minute or a second. Okay, so then I want to put this down. I think I'm going to take, since I have a silver brad here, I'm going to use this. This is a painter's pen I got at Walmart. I think this is another thing that they aren't carrying anymore. They have different ones, so you could probably find a paint pen that is silver in a different brand, but I don't know what this brand is. I guess it's Painter's is what the brand is. And I'm going to shake this up. That gets it stirred up, and then I haven't used this in a while. It didn't want to open. And then I'm going to just press this down on here to get it going. And then what I'm doing is I'm just going to add some silver around the edge of this just to give it a little extra emphasis. And I hope I can do it without getting paint smeared. Maybe a little bit uneven. Okay. That's there, I think. A little more on one side than on the other, but we'll see about that. So we have pockets in here, and we can put something in those pockets. And it might be good to have something that's a little bit stiff. This is just an index card that could go in there. Or a tag, or whatever you want to put in there, a card of some kind. But we'll worry about that in a minute. I'm going to put a little more of this silver on this other edge here to make it a little more even. Like that. I think that's pretty good. I'm going to stop before I mess it up. I could have inked this edge. I probably should have, but I didn't. So we'll just leave that like that. Might want to put some words on some of these pages. That would be cute. Or some lace. Or whatever you would like to put on there. Or another pocket even. Lots of writing space right there in that small thing. And you could also write up here on that. Thinking it might be cute with something on there. Maybe I would take this part and make a little pocket there to go there. What I'm going to do is I'm going to take the Sizzix die. It's for labels. It's a Tim Holtz die set. Also, I got it at Hobby Lobby, and I haven't been there lately, so I don't know what they still have, but they had pretty much gotten rid of all of their dies and equipment like that. That would be fine to have it that big. So I may make a pocket that size to go on here. And I'm going to use that piece of paper I had. Here it is right in front of my face. I think I'll just cut it like that to go on there. So let me undo that and I'll be back. I went ahead and cut 2 in case I wanted to put one on each page here. I like that. I probably wouldn't put it there. I might put it here and maybe have it up high enough that it doesn't stick out below that page. Or not. I may not use that, but I'm going to put this one over here. And if you wanted this to be heavier, you could glue it to either use cardstock to begin with, or glue it to like an index card or something to cut it out. I think it'll be fine like this. So I'm just going to glue it over that. Okay. All right. This one doesn't really matter if it's uneven with that, so I can just basically put it wherever I want to, and I think I'm going to put it a little bit lower, like that. For that. Okay. Now we just need some things to put in there. I have these colored index cards. That's a little bit bright, but it might be okay to use those as... And that one is a little brighter than that. I don't know about that. I feel like I need something taller in there. I want to put this on here as a stop for this. What I'm going to do is I'm just going to I'm going to glue it where it can slide behind that. And I think I'll put it right. I think I'll put it over there on that side. And I just glued it. I just glued it at the bottom of there, just halfway. And it could come down a little bit further like that. So I'll just put it there where it will stop there. I'm going to take that out so it didn't glue to that. Okay, I think I will round these corners on this. So that is that. And I mean, this could even go in there like that if you wanted to do that. Just a little piece of paper in there. Or I have some little doilies here that might be cute in that. Stick a little doily in there and then maybe something else behind it. This is a piece of a paint chip. You can use something like that. It's a little tall. Maybe I'll just cut that off, make it shorter, and it would work. I'd need to put something on the back to cover it up, but I'm just going to eyeball this. And that can go in there. I think that looks cute. Something in there. Here's a couple of things. This is just it was a page in a book that had something. I think it had words and it described or something. I don't remember, but there's that could go in there. It might look cute. And this is an ad for Singer sewing machines. If you wanted something that had some writing on it, like that. Still need something tall in there. Well, that is not too tall. I'm not sure I like the colors in there, but that's a bookmark that someone gave me. Faith grows strong in women of God, and he said, "Unto her daughter be of good cheer, be of good comfort. Thy faith has made thee whole. Go in peace." Like that. I'll just put that in there for now, at least. And then this one would have something in it too. Here's something that might be a little unusual as a seed packet that could go in there. So this goes back this way. You could add lots more things in here if you wanted to. You could put more pockets in, or like words to use for prompts or something like that. And you could add more pages to it than I did. I just put the 2 sheets. So that's 8 pages there. And then that goes there. You could add something on this. You could put a little flippy pad on here if you want to do that. I think I'm just going to leave it like that and not cover that up. And then this side. And then this goes behind that little deal to hold it in place. So that's my idea for this time. And this is the paper I'd originally pulled out to do a fall one. And I may still do a fall one. It's double-sided paper. But the placement of the design is a little bit different on each side. So you can have different looks for it. I would use some brown paper. I have some brown paper over there that is about the color of that part right there, the darkest of the light colors. The darkest of the light colors. It's not green. And I would use that for pages in it. So you could make the top different shapes if you wanted to. You can make a simple tags shape or just straight across. That would work as well. And you can make your pockets in here shorter. You can make the whole thing shorter. It's all just up to you how you'd like to make it come together. So anyway, I hope you enjoyed seeing this little pocket thing. It could be added to a journal, or it could just be a little Happy Mail piece, or it could be a simple journal for a weekend just to add some photographs. You could put photographs on this page. You could write on any of those pages and have some fun with it. So thanks so much for watching, and I will see you next time. Bye-bye.